The Shepard Scholarship has gone into effect, targeting low-income children on Earth, where the most famous human in the galaxy allegedly had a difficult childhood. The scholarships have allowed several dozen young men and women to leave gangs and join the military or enroll in school. Captain Hannah Shepard has apparently turned down an admiral's star and will remain in command of the Orizaba. The captain deemed her promotion to admiral a political ploy and said that she could best honor her child's legacy by captaining a ship. The colony of Mindoir has won the right to use Commander Shepard's likeness on its colonial seal. The commander's family was killed in a slaver attack, but Shepard has maintained ties to the colony. Shepard Memorial Plaza on Elysium was voted this year's hottest wedding location. Under Admiral Hackett's orders, money raised from wedding fees goes to funds for Alliance veterans. Protesters have again attempted to extinguish the Shepard Memorial flame on Torfin. Authorities issued warnings, but Admiral Hackett asked that no arrests be made. The Shepard Memorial on Akuz is expected to open next year, once the area is declared safe for visitors. Admiral Stephen Hackett will preside. Commander Shepard. He uncovered Saren's plan, defeated the Geth army, and died in the final days of the fight. Or did he? Witnesses report seeing him alive on Omega. Further sightings of Shepard place him on Horizon during the recent attack there. Council officials deny that Shepard is alive, or that he is still working covertly as a Spectre. Emotions at Shepard's rumored survival are mixed. While some are overjoyed to see him return, others believe his false death was a betrayal. According to sources, whatever former Commander Shepard is doing, it involves surrounding himself with criminals, killers, mercenaries, and other dangerous elements. We at Galactic News hope that Commander Shepard consents to give us an interview and explain where he's been and what he's doing. The Caden Alenko Memorial Scholarship has begun sending gifted human biotics to the Ascension Project for care and training. Alenko, a graduate of the controversial Biotic Acclimation and Temperance Training Project, sacrificed his life to help stop Saren on Vermeer. Gunnery Chief Ashley Williams, who died fighting Saren on Vermeer, was posthumously awarded the Solarian Silver Dagger and the Turian Nova Cluster. Williams served proudly with non-human crew members and was once heard to say, "Human or alien, we're all just animals." She is the first Alliance soldier to receive either award. The Turian government is considering further reparations to humans whose ancestors died in the Relay 314 incident at Shanxi. The Turian government previously made reparations from what humans call the First Contact War, but refused to pay interest. The Turian hierarchy has supported improved relations with humanity since the Alliance's heroic sacrifice defending the Citadel from Saren's attack 2 years ago. The Turian hierarchy has announced that it will not limit its dreadnought production to previous totals. Citing an increased need for security in the wake of the deaths of previous council members, the Turian military intends to increase defense production. Representatives of the new human-led council had no comment. Explorer ships have reported seeing vessels of an unknown make, but whose silhouette strongly resembles ancient Rachni ship profiles. The few ships sighted have been small scouting vessels that rapidly retreated. The council has pledged a full investigation. Investigators on Noveria have uncovered troubling data from the wreckage of Peak 15. Researchers there may have been cloning Rachni genetic material. Fortunately, according to council representatives, the experiment produced no living Rachni. 2 years after a Geth attack nearly destroyed it, the colony of Zoo's Hope has announced plans for an expansion. Survivors from the destroyed colony of Zoo's Hope have petitioned the council for reparations, given former Spectre Saren's role in the attack on their home. Later today, we interview Councillor Udina. This relentless advocate for humanity has ruffled some feathers and has no plans to stop. Tune in and learn what the man the Turian hierarchy called a diplomatic incident waiting to happen has to say about humanity's role in galactic affairs. Later today, we interview Councillor Anderson. The tireless former soldier has put down his guns to build bridges with numerous trade treaties. Tune in and find out what the man behind Commander Shepard's rise to fame thinks is the greatest threat to intergalactic stability. The Asari Shaira, more commonly known as the Consort, has declined to name the next race likely to gain council membership. However, she suggested an announcement could come soon. Sources say that the Asari Shaira, more commonly known as the Consort, may be leaving the Citadel after years of bad press and rumors of intelligence leaks. Alliance military officials are having difficulty meeting hiring quotas, according to a new report. Since Eden Prime, an initial surge in patriotic enlistments was followed by a downturn, as the public became skeptical that the Alliance can match Geth technology. Alliance military officials are prepared to announce new weapons upgrades. the result of data obtained from the Geth attack on Eden Prime years ago. Charles Saraceno says he is pleased to see terra firma gaining seats in the recent parliamentary elections. He promises continuing pro-human changes. Charles Saraceno, leader of the Terra Firma Party and former Alliance Parliament candidate, has pled guilty to tax evasion. He is in custody pending sentencing. An independent inquiry is investigating a group known as Cerberus in light of charges made by one Corporal Toombs and testimony by an apparent Cerberus scientist. A researcher known only as Dr. Wayne has been promised immunity and has suggested Cerberus may also be tied to the death of Admiral Kohoku several years ago. An independent inquiry has dismissed claims by one Corporal Toombs about a shadowy organization known as Cerberus. A disturbed Toombs says Cerberus held him prisoner for years, but investigators found insufficient evidence to validate his story. The Systems Alliance Parliamentary Subcommittee for Transhuman Studies has awarded reparations for biotics suffering complications from L2 implants. Subcommittee Chairman Burns thanked biotics everywhere for their patience and understanding, and promised more help for those forgotten by the system until now. Tensions between non-biotic and biotic humans are growing. A new poll shows that 40% of non-biotic humans support mandatory registration of all humans with biotic ability. Biotic extremists are growing in number as well. Criminal biotic attacks have increased, and a former Alliance Major Kyle even attempted to start an all-biotic colony. A council inquiry has concluded that a combat VI that went rogue on Luna was not intentionally upgraded to full AI status. Alliance members have maintained that the VI was for combat testing purposes only. Given these findings, it is unlikely any charges will be filed. Element Zero production is up in the Plutus system, and so are prices, as the area's leader, Lord Darius, has made new trade demands. Alliance officials say they will uphold their treaty obligations in this matter. Alliance officials have secured a valuable mining facility on Nonuel. The base had once belonged to a criminal warlord known only as Darius. After Darius died several years ago, a number of factions tried and failed to claim the mining center. Biomedical firm Certa Foundation is reporting a medical breakthrough against a new strain of interspecies influenza. The development comes as a result of samples contaminated during a biotic attack on their research center 2 years ago. Fortunately, there were few casualties. Certa Foundation is likely to close by the end of this fiscal year. The foundation never recovered from a deadly attack by biotic extremists on one of its medical centers 2 years ago. Celebrations are planned across Terra Nova for the upcoming anniversary of the thwarted terrorist attack on the colony. Former hostage Kate Bowman is expected to read a thank you message to Alliance soldiers who rescued her. The Batarian terrorist responsible for the attack on the colony, known only as Balak, remains at large. A quiet candlelight vigil is planned for hostages who died during the Batarian attack on Terra Nova. Reverend Michael Bowman, whose daughter Kate died in the fighting, is holding a non-denominational prayer service on the anniversary of the attack. The wreckage of the freighter Turalan was found on an uncolonized planet in the Dranic system. Salvage teams reported no survivors. Dr. Amos Maston, a member of the expedition team that discovered the Prothean relics on Eden Prime, has disappeared. He was last recorded in a small science vessel headed for the Nikaya Corridor. Salvage operations on the Salahil system have been cleared. Operations had previously been halted after Geth activity in the area. An Exogeny archaeological team has been reported missing. They were last seen in the Iaea cluster's Enoch system, an area of heavy pirate activity. Shipping lanes near Omega were recently hit by a series of deadly raids. Merchant fleets are being asked to resynchronize their IFF protocols. Blue Sun's mercenaries in the Decora system took heavy losses fighting against unspecified criminal groups, according to leaked reports. A Blue Sun's representative declined to comment. A series of Krogan and Vorcha attacks on groups in the Crescent Nebula has raised concerns among residents. A Krogan businessman on Ilium, Mr. Thax, suggested the attacks were tied to deadly Bloodpack mercenaries. A massive Bloodpack offensive nearly resulted in numerous deaths on Ilium. The angry Krogan were apparently launching a punitive attack on a Mr. Thax. Mr. Thax, a businessman operating on Ilium, was relieved that damage was avoided and has pledged to cooperate with any resulting investigation. Planets in the Nubian expanse have been experiencing drastic and sudden climate changes. While initial reports suggest this could be caused by a Batarian orbital mirror system, no such technology is currently located in this area. The planet Canalis in the Dorada system recently underwent rapid climate change. Then, just as rapidly, the changes reversed. A research team is investigating the strange events. All businesses using security mechs have been asked to check their systems for a potentially deadly virus that can disable targeting safeties and friend or foe identification. Mech attacks have increased as a programming malfunction virus spreads. Experts warn of the accompanying danger of poorly programmed security VIs being overzealous in protecting themselves from infection. A Synthetic Insights representative stressed that this is a standard VI processing error, not an indication of an AI threat similar to the Geth. The virus affecting mechs galaxy-wide was evidently born in a Hain Kedar mechanics facility, the result of the misuse of faulty and recalled processors in experimental mech designs. Hain Kedar representatives declined to comment. The Council is preparing an investigation, with possible criminal charges to follow. The crashed exploration vessel, Estevanico, has finally been discovered deep in the Terminus systems. As expected, there were no survivors. Crews have been dispatched to salvage relics from the crash site for exhibition in the Alliance Museum of Galactic Exploration on Earth. An Eldfell Ashland mining facility has stopped production after attacks that may be linked to uncovered collector artifacts. The Exogeny Corporation has announced a new system for detecting and controlling volcanic eruptions. This technology could lead to improved geothermal power across the galaxy. Authorities are still investigating recent attacks on a suspected red sand manufacturing plant. The attacks suggest a criminal takeover of the red sand market. The Quarian ship Idana has been spotted traveling through systems in the Pylos Nebula. The ship has left the Quarian migrant fleet and is not responding to hails. A number of heavy mechs have been stolen from legitimate owners on Tatus in the Talava system and sold under false pretenses. Council reps suggest buyers only purchase mechs from accredited sources. Human colonies in the Pylos Nebula are requesting aid after several recent attacks, apparently by Geth raiders. These attacks do not appear to be connected to the other attacks upon human colonies. A new report suggests that the organization known as Cerberus may have been responsible for the death of Rear Admiral Kahoku. An informant suggests that Cerberus killed the Admiral to cover up illegal weapons and technology experiments. We'll have more news as it comes. A human settlement has been attacked by Batarian terrorists. Fortunately, an apparent weapons malfunction sent the missiles off course, sparing much of the colony. Eldfell Ashland is investigating reports of sabotage at a facility in the Solveig system. Damage to the magnetic shield around the facility nearly resulted in numerous fatalities due to unchecked solar radiation. Eldfell Ashland is investigating reports of sabotage at a facility in the Solveig system after an attack on the facility killed all members. A dramatic increase in meteor activity near planets in the Pamiat system have researchers suspecting malicious intent. Unfortunately, investigations have yet to produce any leads, and the colonies remain at risk. Eclipse mercenaries have denied involvement in acts of piracy against cargo freighters in the Terminus systems. This legal setback threatens the Eclipse license on those worlds where their presence remains legal. Fears of an uncontrolled plague in the streets of Omega have been laid to rest, as the disease is now under control. The prison ship Purgatory has been destroyed following an apparent riot. Security ships are en route to the area to retrieve prisoners and guards from life pods. The crew of the Hugo Gernsback, long feared dead, has been found on the planet Iea. The survivors are being treated for neural degradation, which was caused by eating local vegetation. Alliance listening posts report new ship activity at the edges of Geth space. Geth ships have been found adrift, with all Geth on board deactivated. Alliance listening posts report new ship activity at the edges of Geth space. Geth ships appear to be migrating into clusters, pending a possible migration or attack. Alliance vessels are reinforcing border clusters as a precautionary measure. The recent attack on Horizon has other Council species looking to their own security. The Turian fleet is reportedly bolstering its crew complement, while the Solarian Special Tasks Group is reportedly investigating the colony attacks. Some human politicians are suggesting that Turian militants, angry after losing control of the Citadel, are behind attacks on Horizon and other human colonies. When asked for comment, a Turian government representative stated, "The humans have seized power. The responsibility is theirs." The attack on the human colony of Freedom's Progress has generated a swift but confused response. Aid vessels have been sent, but it is not clear whether there are survivors. The Council offered its sympathy, but regretted that it could not become involved in a purely human matter. A source reports that the attack on the human colony of Freedom's Progress is being investigated as a possible terrorist attack by dissidents from former Council races. While no formal statement has been issued, the Council has made formal information requests of the Solarian Special Tasks Group. Is the Shadow Broker's criminal empire collapsing? CSEC officials detected emergency transactions from businesses tied to the mysterious figure. Financial broker Bar Levon, linked as a possible shadow broker source, was recently found dead. Authorities suspect that this is just the tip of the iceberg. Alliance officials are reporting strange energy readings from the Omega-4 relay. While no ships have ever returned after going through the relay, scans suggest it has been used recently. Alliance officials are on alert. Salarian marksman Valan Forrest thinks he has a shot at beating Commander Shepard's long-standing record at Pinnacle Station. Tune in tonight to watch live. Remains of a weapons facility have been found in the Shecha system. It's believed the facility was operated by deadly Bloodpack mercenaries. A solar storm erupting from Solvag annihilated the facility. A malfunctioning magnetic field generator left the colony vulnerable to the deadly solar radiation. The Destiny Ascension has completed its 20-colony victory cruise. Council members aboard thanked Human Alliance soldiers for their efforts in repelling Saren's invasion 2 years ago. 2 years since the destruction of the Destiny Ascension, planning for the fleet of the new Allied Citadel defense unit have reached another impasse. The Asari Republics has ceded its share of defense responsibility to the Turian hierarchy. The Human Alliance maintains a majority share of forces.
The top story in international affairs is a Batarian test of a new orbital mirror system. By placing large arrays of mirrors at a planet's Lagrange points, it is possible to focus sunlight at any point on its surface. The Batarian hegemony insists that the system is for peaceful purposes, to control weather and terraform worlds too cold for settlement. However, Turian monitors contend that the system could be used to focus sunlight into a thermal weapon. In a stunning move, forces of the system's alliance have launched a raid into Batarian space. The Normandy-class stealth frigate SSV Ein Jalut dropped a Marine N-7 Special Forces team on the Batarian colony world of Kai Marak. The team destroyed a plant that manufactured controversial Batarian solar arrays. The alliance has admitted a dozen civilian deaths. Hegemony sources place the death toll at nearly 100. Alliance Councillor Anderson expressed regret for the civilian deaths and expressed hope that the hegemony would compromise in the future. In a sternly worded statement, Alliance Councillor Udina noted that the Alliance's policy is to respond to direct threats with decisive action. The Council Diplomatic Office reports that the Batarian hegemony has agreed to cease production of their orbital mirror system. This breakthrough comes after several weeks of tense backroom diplomacy between Asari mediators and the hegemony government. To compensate the Batarians for the lost production, the Council has agreed to lift some restrictions on trade with the Batarian state. In a prepared statement, Alliance Councillor Anderson praised the agreement as a win for all involved. In a prepared statement, Alliance Councillor Udina denounced the agreement as an example of the Council's willingness to negotiate with a terrorist state. Despite harsh criticism from the interstellar community, the Batarian hegemony has refused to stop production of their new orbital mirror system. The quick-deploying arrays can be used for terraforming, but observers fear they could be corrupted for use as weapons of mass destruction. The system's alliance maintains that the Batarians must abandon the project before talks on loosening the hegemony's trade sanctions can begin. In related news, the Alliance has deployed a battle group under the dreadnought Everest to the area for routine maneuvers. The Citadel Council has dispatched a crisis team of mediators to the Batarian homeworld of Karshan. Meanwhile, anonymous sources with the Council administration suggest that a Spectre has been deployed to hegemony space. A CSEC spokesman has announced an arrest in the case of Denaria Claris, a Kithoi Ward sanitation worker found murdered several weeks ago. Reveal Ospanov, a human, has been charged with first-degree murder and a crime of racial hatred. Claris was in a relationship with Ospanov's former spouse. CSEC has reported the disappearance of a sanitation worker on Kithoi Ward. Denaria Claris failed to return from her shift during the third watch. Her assignment took her near the keeper's area of the ward, and it is feared her corpse might have been taken to the protein vats for recycling. The corpse of Denaria Claris, the sanitation worker reported missing from Kithoi Ward, has been found. CSEC has issued a statement that foul play is suspected in Claris's death. The investigation is ongoing. Authorities in the Presidium admit they've reached a dead end in the search for the Solarian surveyor starship, Callan High. The Callan High was declared overdue more than a month ago. At first, officials believed the Taidani pirates were involved. Alliance naval forces executed a surprise raid against their headquarters in the Terminus systems. Council forces executed a containment attack on their headquarters in the Terminus systems. Latest reports indicate that while some of the crew were shipped to Omega as slaves, most cannot be accounted for. The official statement from the Naval Office states that the Tydani found the crew in ejected life pods and were not responsible for the attack. Word has reached Council space of a massive raid against the Tydani pirate ring in the Terminus systems. An Alliance fleet centered on the cruiser Istanbul executed a crushing attack against what authorities describe as the main anchorage of the pirates. A Council fleet centered on the cruiser Batarian launched a swift strike against what authorities describe as the main anchorage of the pirates. Anonymous sources within the Presidium assert that the raid was launched based on information linking the Tydani to the survey ship Callan. The Callan was declared overdue and missing several weeks ago. A Solarian survey ship, the Callan, has been officially declared overdue after 3 weeks without contact. At this time, it is unclear whether the Callan was attacked or suffered an accident. Turian and Alliance frigates are coordinating a search. The Systems Alliance 5th Fleet has begun its planned tour of the Attican Traverse region. The fleet, centered around the dreadnought Orizaba under Captain Hannah Shepard, will stop in various systems over the next 3 months. Critics in the Asari Republics accuse the Alliance of gunboat diplomacy. A spokesperson noted, the Treaty of Ferrixon defines dreadnoughts as weapons of mass destruction. Their inclusion in a frontier cruise is provocative. A Turian spokesman for the Council noted that, since the Battle of the Citadel, the Alliance has played an increasing role in securing our frontiers. He added that the 5th Fleet's Goodwill Tour is a first step to becoming a partner in Turian peacekeeping patrols. The Alliance 5th Fleet's tour of the Attican Traverse continues today, with a stop at the Volus colony at Potavig in the Macedon system. Potavig was granted to the Vol Protectorate in exchange for Volus support in a key council vote 2 years ago. The Turian hierarchs have declared the fleet's visit irresponsibly provocative. The Vol Independence Party has organized several political rallies. The Alliance 5th Fleet's tour of the Attican Traverse continues today with a brief port of call at the Young Alliance colony on the planet Chazka. Chazka's pioneer colonization team was massacred by the Geth 2 years ago. With the assistance of Asari investment, the colonization program is back on schedule and accepting applicants. The Alliance 5th Fleet has concluded its tour of the Attican Traverse with a stop at the contested planet Ilos. Officials from the Solarian Union maintain that their paleotech research teams will continue despite the Alliance's gunboat diplomacy. Spokesman Aaron Ledra said, "The Prothean runes of Ilos are a heritage for the entire galaxy. We do not recognize the Alliance's claim on the planet." Asari spokespersons said they were gratified by the Alliance's goodwill gesture of protection. A council study of the Prothean runes on Ilos has been underway for a year. The Batarian hegemony continues to agitate for access to their findings. Horizon has become the latest and largest human-settled world to disappear in the wave of lost colonies. Alliance Councilor Udina made a statement to the press that the Council fleet would be utilized in an ongoing investigation. Councilor Anderson, in a joint statement with the Volus and Elcor, announced that the Council fleet will be utilized in an investigation. The councillor categorically denied the assignment of a Spectre to investigate the situation. As before in such cases, the human representative to the council has requested an official investigation. This was rejected by a 3-4 vote in session. The council maintains the matter is an internal alliance issue. Councillor Valor noted, having a seat on the council implies a species can handle its own problems and assist others with theirs. Alliance Councilor Udina's frank response cannot be broadcast due to local ordinances. Alliance Councilor Anderson agreed, but requested increased access to the Council's space tracking network. Officials in the Systems Alliance remain tight-lipped about the recent disaster on the pioneer colony of Freedom's Progress. The human outpost is believed to have been destroyed, with no survivors on record. Details are sketchy due to a news blackout. This is the latest in a series of frontier settlements lost by the Alliance. The Hanar Shrine of the Enkindlers plans a prayer vigil for the deceased. The Hanar maintain that the lost colonies are the Protheans' wrath, after human explorers defiled a Prothean data beacon 2 years ago on Eden Prime. News services in the Asari Republics have reported the death of former Citadel resident Nisana Dantius. Dantius was a senior staff member of the Asari Embassy on the Citadel for nearly 2 decades. She retired from politics over a year ago to operate a family business on Ilium. CSEC has reported the death of Joram Talid, a candidate for the intendant post on Zakera Ward. Talid was found in his home, a victim of homicide. An investigation is ongoing. CSEC has reported an attempt on the life of Joram Talid, a candidate for the intendant post on Zakera Ward. Talid's life was saved thanks to quick action by uniformed officers under Captain Owen Bailey. An investigation into the attack is ongoing. In other CSEC news from Zakera Ward, the body of human businessman Elias Kellum was found drifting outside an airlock during third watch. CSEC investigators report that they have no leads. The body of Mikkel Kushner, a human transient, was found drifting outside an airlock during third watch. The death of Kushner, known as Mouse to residents of Zakera Ward, has been ruled accidental by CSEC. Human businessman Elias Kellum was briefly held for questioning by CSEC earlier today. Kellum's advocate, Frederick Mazai, has announced his intention to file a lawsuit over the incident. Kellum's advocate, Frederick Mazai, issued a press statement emphasizing that his client was not charged with any crime. CSEC is reporting the arrest of one Lantar Sidonis after a dramatic confession. According to eyewitness reports, Sidonis walked into a CSEC kiosk and confessed to the murder of 10 people on Omega. CSEC is reviewing the case, as Omega is beyond the scope of council authority. Executor Chelik maintains it is impossible to extradite Sidonis for his crimes since Omega has no government. CSEC authorities are reporting the death of Lantar Sidonis, a former mercenary and resident of Station Omega in the Terminus systems. Sidonis was shot in the head with a high-caliber military rifle from a long distance. CSEC is investigating how such a firearm made it aboard the station. Sidonis was not survived by any family, and no acquaintances could be found to claim his remains. No funeral is scheduled.
A Batarian trading group has announced plans to sue the Citadel Council. The Batarians claim that slavery is an inextricable part of their caste system, and that by limiting the slave trade, the Council is violating their cultural rights. The indentured servitude market closed down 3 points, with representatives decrying the unwanted controversy. Coming up later today, we release our annual list of Ilium's 10 richest people. Are the heavens still bright Asari blue, or have the Volus finally rolled to the top? And don't miss our look at the fashion faux pas at the Commerce Awards held last week. All this and more on Financial Entertainment Daily. Another difficult development for human expansion as the colony on Horizon has been attacked. The Council has pledged to investigate the matter thoroughly as a possible indication of attacks on humans galaxy-wide. The Council has suggested that the attacks are a tragic coincidence, likely the result of Batarian slave traders or isolated pirate attacks. Investors in prefabricated complexes are rejoicing, however, as the repair and rebuilding plans have spiked shares industry-wide. Tragedy has once again struck a human colony, as Freedom's progress has been attacked by unknown sources. Colony development is known to be dangerous, but humans have had an especially difficult run over the past few years. Colonial aid groups mobilized in the aftermaths of the attacks on Eden Prime and Zoo's Hope have pledged to help. Does living at a higher altitude make you more intelligent? Our report may surprise you. New data commissioned by the Architectural Union has noted a correlation between tested intelligence and height of habitat. The news comes as new homes ranging from studio apartments to spacious rooftop mansions enter into open market bidding. The Scandal Rock story of Nasana Dantius has come to a tragic end as the businesswoman was killed in her office. While police have no formal suspects, Dantius was no stranger to controversy, making many enemies during her climb to power. Stocks in Dantius's corporation have risen as a result of the news, with hope for more stable times for the troubled company. Ilium is the gateway to the Traverse, but is that gate open too wide? Investment think tanks are noting concerns that new technological discoveries may upset the market balance and cost skilled workers their jobs. Later today, we'll hear from survey teams talking about the latest technology you won't be able to live without, and how much it will cost. Members of Eclipse mercenary band are facing tough questions after violence erupted at a gang-controlled warehouse. Detective Anaya, assigned to the case, has requested formal sanctions against the group. Local trader Pitney 4 has been arrested for illegal activity that came to light during the fighting. Local trader Pitney 4 decried the fighting as a danger to honest businessmen all across Ilium. Ilium Entertainment would like to respond to complaints about our upcoming film Blasto the Jellyfish Stings. The Hanar Anti-Defamation Association claims that our portrayal of Blasto insults Hanar society, going so far as to call it exploitation. We at Ilium Entertainment stand by our product, which puts a Hanar in a lead role and notes the growing importance of these respected galactic citizens. We hope that you, the viewer, will decide whether we have done Blasto justice. And, to allow you to decide, all first-day purchases are 30% off. Ilium Entertainment thanks you for your support. The Council thought that Blasto, the first Hanar Spectre, would play by the rules.
This one has forgotten whether its heat sink is over capacity. It wonders whether the criminal scum considers itself fortunate.
They were wrong.
This one doesn't have time for your solid waste excretions.
He's got a lover in every port and a gun in every tentacle.
Enkindle this.
Blasto the Jellyfish Stings, available for extranet purchase this fall from Ilium Entertainment. Ilium sees many human refugees, terminus orphans, and former slaves abandoned by Batarian raiders. For many, the adjustment is difficult. But one man, Conrad Werner, wants to help. Werner is organizing Shepards, a charity that helps human refugees, orphans, and former war prisoners. In a prepared statement, he said that this new charity is his way of showing his support for the people who protect the galaxy. A skycar accident has claimed the life of tourist Conrad Werner, who attempted to capture transient youths hitching a ride on the top of a bus. The would-be hero fell from the bus, struck several passing cars, and eventually fell into the power turbine of a biomass recycling facility. Nosastra has recently received an unexpected visitor in the form of a rare Justicar calling herself Samara. Samara denied our request for an interview, leaving us in the dark about what brought a Justicar to the fringes of Asari space. Nevertheless, Ilium News is pleased to offer a special report on the history and current politics of this rare group. Novacorp has been implicated in a massive financial scandal with authorities investigating a number of trading irregularities. Novacorp executives did not immediately respond to requests for clarification. A Novacorp press release blamed the charges on a smear campaign orchestrated by competitors. Intaris Systems has been deeply embarrassed by the recent theft of a new Omni-Gel synthesis prototype. Intaris was planning to unveil the technology in an upcoming tech expo. It has blamed the theft on a human calling herself Kasumi. Intaris Systems closed down 4 points as a result of the theft. Ilium News would like to offer a clarification of our special report on notorious assassin Thane Krios. While Ilium News did credit Thane Krios' legendary skill to his Drell heritage, no offense to the Drell community was intended. Ilium News does not encourage or tolerate prejudice against any sapient species and apologizes for any unintentional misstatements implying otherwise.
Plague in the slums. Is this the end for Omega's poor? Omega's destitute and pathetic are dying in their own filth. Some people demand that something be done. Mostly those whose loved ones live in the slums. Solarian researcher Morden Solus thinks he has the answer, but he's wasting his time. The plague is the answer. The answer to the endless sea of sentient waste that populates those slums. Let those people fall to the Vorcha. The hunt is on for Omega's public enemy #1, and this time, there is no escape. Merc groups from all over the Terminus systems are recruiting for assaults on the notorious Archangel in an attempt to kill the meddling bastard once and for all. Who is he? Who gives a shit? He'll be dead soon enough, and the ones who take him down will be living like kings. Reports from the slums claim that the plague that incapacitated the residents is now gone. An airborne vaccine was released into the slums following a campaign of violence against the Vorcha squatters who had taken up residence in the plague-ridden district. All residents aboard the station should feel free to do whatever they can to control any plague-ridden Vorcha trying to flee from the sewers. If violence isn't your thing, and you see diseased Vorcha, contact Genera Relocation for a free consultation. Breaking news! The weekly death toll numbers are in, and they're not looking good. The last report placed the station's murder rate at 89, up 5 from the previous week. The newest report places the death toll at just 73, with experts blaming the Council's threatened limits on the slave trade for the lower number. With 80% of all bets placed on the over this week, this news could sink Omega's economy. Experts say the smart money's on the over for next week's report. The Ferlit Consortium is going ahead with its plans to sue the Citadel Council to remove unfair limits on the intergalactic slave trade. A Ferlit spokesman had this to say.
Slavery is an inextricable part of the Batarian caste system. By limiting the slave trade, the Council is limiting our cultural rights.
The Council is scheduled to hear arguments over the next few weeks. Ferlit representatives do not expect the Council to take the culturally sensitive option. In other news, the human colony on Horizon has been attacked, another in a series of human failures to colonize worlds deeper in the galaxy. The Council has pledged to search far and wide for the perpetrators of the attack, a move that should not surprise anyone. A message for those who carried out the attack on the helpless human colony: well done. Don't give those upstarts a moment to breathe. The Council has blamed the attacks on Batarian slave traders or random pirates. No one has come forward to claim responsibility, rendering those theories weak and groundless. A human colony called Freedom's Progress has been attacked by unknown sources, marking yet another in the chronicle of the humans' failure to defend their own colonies. The Alliance has dispatched aid and transport vessels in an effort to ease the suffering among the ruins of the human colony. Raiders and pirates have already jumped on the opportunity, staking out the routes that lead to Freedom's Progress. Record windfalls are expected. The Vorcha, a blight on Omega's society or a boon for the station's depressed labor market. A new study of the Vorcha's adaptive capabilities shows that with the proper treatment, young Vorcha can be molded into productive members of society. The study, sponsored by Genera Staffing Services, promises to redefine the way we look at the Vorcha who clog our walkways. Could that vagrant someday become an asset? Notorious troublemaker Archangel is no more. Blue Sun reports that mercenaries in their employ were responsible for the death of Omega's public enemy #1. Eclipse and Blood Pact representatives contest the claim, stating that no identifiable corpse remained, and thus no group can claim responsibility for Archangel's death. Regardless, this news is a major boon for Omega. All business can finally resume as usual. Aria Talok, she's Omega's #1 citizen. But what do we really know about her? If you have any doubts about her right to rule Omega, send your name and address to the address on your screen for a free information package. With your help, we can make damn sure that the people who should rule Omega do so. Act now for Omega's future.